नमस्कार, आई एम अशोक व्यास और मेरे साथ हैं डॉक्टर नितिन सारस्वत. Nitin ji, I appreciate your joining me to talk about something which connects with life as well as with the way we connect with life. So many times we find ourselves in a situation where we are declaring, expressing enthusiasm that I'm so happy this happened, oh, he did this for me, etc. Though internally we feel disconnected and we're just pretending, we're just showing off a face. Now, that means we are coming across as a happy person. And now this reminds me of some of the social media influencers. Or there was a girl who recently, unfortunately, we lost her. She had millions of followers, and she would have postings which were expressing, which were showing beautiful surroundings and her smile, etc. So, so that leads me to think, Nitinji, what we are showing many times, there is a disconnect between what we are actually feeling. And there could be multiple psychological reasons, but in general, if we talk about reality and illusion of happiness, um, I will also add, sometimes we feel there is a sense of compulsion for us to show what we are not. Take it from here, what causes this compulsion and how to deal with it?
Thank you, Ashokji. Thank you for having me. Uh, One thing that you said, the illusion of happiness. It reminds me of a beautiful saying that what is a dream life that a person has. So it's an Hindi quote that it's a Hindi joke I am translating in English. So it was like a dream for a man is to look as handsome as his mother thinks he is. So now the new age era equation is the dream of a person is to be as happy, like the dream of the person is to be as happy as the person shows themselves on the social media life. So the whole lot of equation has become how happy you show yourself on the social media, how much you portray that you are living life. So unfortunately, we are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves in showing and creating an illusion that we are very happy. And indeed, we are killing happiness by that. And then the FOMO. If we see someone being happy by doing something, then immediately we have to do that to catch the wagon before it leaves us. There's a whole lot of FOMO, there's a whole lot of illusion, and a whole lot of pressure to be happy. Happiness has to be a very internal thing. But when happiness becomes an outside factor which has to be shown, it again becomes a pressure.
So let me take it to one common question that you hear people, if they are not in the same city and they know that this is your birthday, then say, how are you going to celebrate? And so then you feel a sense of compulsion that you show, I'm going to have this party or this, etc. Even though you are not having, you have to create some some story to kind of satisfy them, and that. I don't know. There is a sense of call it a bondage which we create for ourselves. Uh, Allow me also to take another scenario. If you are traveling, you go to a beautiful place. Now, rather than having the capacity and the patience and the sensitivity to relate to the vast expansion of, say, beautiful surrounding mountains, maybe wonderful trees or flowers, whatever, you immediately think about taking a picture and taking yourself in that surrounding and posting it on Facebook. And if you don't have any Wi-Fi or your phone is not connected, then as soon as you reach somewhere where you can do it, you are going to do it. So talk to me about this psychology which has become a part of most of our lives.
Yes, very true. And this is where, unfortunately, We have to ask ourselves a question: do I want to be happy, or I want to show that I'm happy? Am I enjoying the place that I am at right now? Am I enjoying this food that I am eating? Or I am enjoying the picture of the food that I'm putting on the social? Am I enjoying the company that I have? Or am I enjoying posting it and flaunting the company that I have? Unknowingly, we are putting a whole lot of pressure on ourselves. We are putting a whole lot of pressure to be seen happy. And this next word here is happening. There's a whole lot of pressure on us to look happening, not to be a boring person, not to have a boring life. And then we are trapped in the realm of show off, flaunting, and FOMOs.
So there are very few exceptions to this, I would say, and so it is not that holier than thou is the way that I'm mentioning this, Nitinji, but I find that there are more and more people getting trapped into, into this notion of the need to show that they this did this, or if they are flying or they reached here, etc. So I'm trying to understand. I'm not saying either way, but so Nitinji, it is good that we keep a record and we keep a track of our footsteps and have a trail of our memories in this form, etc. But does it take away our sense of reality somewhere sometimes? And if I may also bother you to define what would you say is reality?
The reality is being in the moment, actually. Unfortunately, even this has become a cliche. Like every youngster you meet, the Gen Zs, the people, millennial people, they will use this as cliche a lot: I live in the moment. But the problem is, either you are playing the game or you are the game. So you have to ask yourself, because to enjoy the game you have to play the game. When you become the game, the watcher enjoys it. When you put your pictures, when everything is about showing what you are doing. So again, I will, at the cost of repetition, I will say this: are you playing the game, or are you becoming the game? If you are eating food, you are actually enjoying that moment. Then it doesn't matter where you are eating the food, how beautiful the food is. The only thing is the taste of the food, because you're playing the game. But when you are posting the pictures of the food, then the most important thing is how beautiful the food looks. And you have become the game, what is being enjoyed by the watcher. And you are just enjoying if the watcher enjoys you. And then you are trapped in a non reality. So we have to ask ourselves a very simple question: am I playing the game, or am I becoming the game? Am I enjoying what exactly I am doing, or am I enjoying whether I am being enjoyed, whether I am giving attention? Because this non reality is making us just attention seekers. So if we get attention, we become happy. If we don't get attention, we lose all our happiness.
Taking the word attention and turning it inwards, if we are actually paying attention to ourselves, we'll be happy. So the key that you have given in terms of seeking attention and being happy, if we get enough of likes or attention, etc., that is one way. But how to reach to the stage where, as you said, being present in the moment, and if I put it in the phrase that giving complete attention to yourself. We have our divided way of looking in a fragmented way, etc. Again, it will be cliched way, but your take on Do we need to practice it? Because there are so many distractions that pulls away our attention towards various directions.
There is no problem if you say I enjoy posting on social media. The problem is when this posting unknowingly takes away all your pleasure. So there is no problem with social media. Social media is not the problem. Problem is how unknowingly you have started living for this FOMO. There is a rat race going on. So if there is a new year, it has to be celebrated in a particular manner which social media is showing you. If there is a party, it has to be done in a particular manner that these reels are showing you. So the influence that it is happening on you, no matter whether you like to be awake whole night or not, but just because you have seen people partying a particular way, you are becoming a copycat. Your whole the pleasure quotient is all about catching up with what is trending. So now that is the problem. And where are you getting this bug from? You're getting this bug from this FOMO culture that is coming by posting everything. Like posting has become the main fun thing. No, you are the game or you are playing the game. Just ask yourself this question.
So you are the game, or uh, this takes me to another reference where we talk about being a witness to what is happening, and how you respond, react, etc. We are talking about illusion or reality in the context of happiness. Now, what is wrong if the illusion of happiness is giving a sense of satisfaction? Will there be any harm in that? I'm just trying to understand from your point of view.
There is nothing wrong if illusion of happiness is giving you happiness. There is nothing wrong as long as you can actually enjoy this world of non-reality, and you say I love posting, I love enjoying these catch-ups with the world. The problem is the kind of stress they create, the real amount of erosion they create in your happiness. So the pressure, stress, and the non happy you is the problem. If you can genuinely create a situation, but you have to be very awake. It's like somebody consuming alcohol and saying I'm enjoying it a lot. Yes, you can enjoy a lot of alcohol every day, but then the kind of reaction your body gives you after that, you have to see it in toto and tell us whether you genuinely enjoyed the addiction to alcohol or it was a thing that eroded your happiness. So if you see things in toto and you can genuinely enjoy all the FOMOs, all the catch ups with the world, all the copycat culture, and say, no, I'm enjoying, we will say, carry on. That's your life. But the reality is, it erodes your happiness. It puts you under a whole lot of pressure. And that is why you need to do a little introspection over it and see that no, I don't want to live life for the reels and the posts.
Talking about the reference of alcohol, or so there has been a study, and the Surgeon General of America has come up with directives that there are 30% more chances for someone who is a who drinks to get cancer than others, etc. And they want that to be shown on the label of, but that has to go through Congress and all that. So that may or may not happen. But the point is, we many times want to run away from the kind of reality which uh, which binds us, or which makes us feel uneasy, or so we want to create some other parallel to our uh, existence. And sometimes these drugs or this alcohol, etc., so it puts your mind to a state where uh, you are actually consciously going towards certain unconscious state kind of a thing. But now, coming back to the projected happiness through media, advertising. So I remember as a child I was growing up, and you will see the Raj Babbar coming, red and white पीने वालों की बातें कुछ और है. So he is shown having accomplished something. So that part is inspiring, that he saved somebody or whatever, whatever. But the climax of the advertisement was giving a message that you have a connect with this kind of approach to having a smoke. So this is how, I mean, you will have the kind of a smile with this particular toothpaste, etc. So is advertising also creating a false narrative about happiness?
The whole consumerism is creating that. That, like, how there's a beautiful quote that nothing is for free, and if it is for free, you are the product. So that's what social media has done. Social media has made all of us the products. The consumerism, it makes you fall for the fear of missing out. It makes you feel if you don't have the latest iPhone, if you don't have the latest gadgets, you're missing out a lot on life. So the whole trap is being laid by these advertisements and the culture of consumerism, etc., etc., the show off culture.
What way to address it?
Awareness. I think at one stage, see, I always call it maturity comes in phases. It has got nothing to do with age. You maybe, it's like, there is a difference between your biological age and your maturity age. So the first phase of maturity is a toddler maturity. So a toddler knows pain and pleasure, security and insecurity. That's the only maturity a toddler has. Then the next phase of maturity is the teenage maturity. In teenage maturity, you're always very reactive. You always want to prove yourself, and even a slightest of thing that makes you feel lesser starts making you feel question your own existence, etc., etc. But then the next phase of maturity is the adulthood. This is where you start to realize what exactly things, at what pace things should be valued. And I think most of us miss this phase of life, because if a teenager is doing a lot of things to catch up with the world, falling for FOMOs, it is absolutely okay. But the teenager and a lot of not so teenagers will have to start realizing that it's time to get an adult maturity. And that adult maturity gives us that kind of wisdom that life is not all about creating perception of happiness. Life is finding happiness, and happiness always comes for free, and happiness comes without reason. If you are happy inside, you will create thousands of reasons to be happy. But if you are not happy inside, everything you do may create some kind of a pleasure, but slowly and gradually it will add to your own pain only. So we have to create that kind of maturity level.
Talking about maturity and very frequently used expression, rat race. And they say that the problem with rat race is that even if you win, you will be a rat only. So rather than belittling ourselves in the quest of that which, even if we get, is having some temporary um, value for satisfaction and happiness. Since we have little time, I want to touch very briefly, which again is another orbit of reality or illusion of happiness. That is, if you have XYZ thing, certain cars, type of branded car, or the kind of bungalow or the kind of lifestyle as we talked about earlier, that will make you happy, and it does make you happy. But then there is a marginal utility. So there has to be understanding, as you were mentioning about in a maturity, that what is actually needed and what is just the illusion that you get it and then it will make you happy. So I come across people who have wonderful homes and then they dismantle it, they make another one because they can afford it and they feel that by doing that they'll be happier. So talk to me about this. If I, with respect, use the word, sometimes we, the difference between need and greed gets blurred. We forget that this is our greed which is now coming in with the mask of need.
That's problem of bigger, better, more. If we need to realize one thing, if I'm not happy right now, I will never be happy, because happiness is a and is an it's an art that comes from within. I need to nurture my happiness. I need to create that inner balance. So happiness is actually an inner balance. One thing is pleasure. Pleasure is very momentary. So if I want to be pleasurously happy, it's very easy. Attain something, give your senses something good to feel, and immediately you will feel a pleasure. But happiness is an inner equilibrium. That equilibrium is an art, and you have to become an artist to create that equilibrium. All you
So
need to do is
please continue.
all you need to do is just to sit with yourself, become a little thoughtless, or fall in gratitude, fall in love, not the love which is all about attachment and possessiveness, a love which makes you selfless. And that's the equilibrium that makes you happy. So you can be just with food, basic amenities, and very happy. And you can be with the best of the things in the world and very unhappy, because it's all about inner equilibrium.
So if I I want to kind of touch again the sentence you said, and it is in the context that if you are not happy now, you will never be happy. No, you will be. There is a possibility. What he's saying is in the context of something, which means it will be now. Happiness, whenever it will be now. But we'll probably deal with that some other time. Um, Nitinji, I brought that back because I want us to live with a sense of hope and hope for happiness. Even if you're not happy now, you can be happy. So just I understand where you were coming from. The second thing I wanted to mention is rather than looking outwardly, when we look within, we are actually born happy. Actually, we are we are we are born to celebrate life with happiness, and that reality is handed over to XYZ things, and let us get it back and let us own ourselves because that is our reality. So, thanking you, Nitinji, for such a wonderful, stimulating conversation. And in 30 seconds, if you want to sum up any thought.
Thank you, sir. One thing that is, you are actually happy. So your happiness is like sun, and whatever you feel that is not happy in you is like a cloud of emotion. So the happiness is the inner equilibrium that you need to find and be in touch with. Whatever is making you unhappy is very temporary. There is just an emotion, a desire that is not being fulfilled, a discomfort that is troubling you. But that inner happiness, we must learn how to disconnect it from the things that our sensory senses are feeling outside. So remember, we need to connect to our inner self to experience our real happiness. Thank you.
On that note, if I quickly add that this 2024, 21st December was observed as World Meditation Day. And I think meditation also helps in moving towards that zone of real happiness. So, once again, thanking Nitinji and thanking all of you
Thank you.
happily for being with us. Namaste.